I didn't bring my camera stand today. I actually meant to bring it, I forgot it. I was going to set it up while I did some tractor work. So instead of you guys watching me do the tractor work, I just figured I'd show you some progress that we've been making out here today. I'm sorry, I got a little dirt. Got the tractor stuck. I had to dig it out earlier. So anyways, let me flip this camera around so you guys can see. Maybe it starts looking a little different than the last time y'all saw it. Right here, I was able to run the disc up and down this several times today and got it to go a lot deeper. I'm going to, next time I come out here, I'm going to hook the scrape blade up and do exactly like what we've been talking about doing. Take that scrape blade and start pushing this dirt back away from this hill, and that way hopefully this hill, let me step over here to see if you guys can actually see kind of how steep that is. Sometimes the camera doesn't exactly catch it great, but anyways, so this is what I've got going, and I'm actually pretty happy with the way the disc is cutting it up. If I'm not able to do what I was trying to do, I don't think it's the disc fault. It's just the idea that the disc might not be the right tool for the job. And one more thing before I left, I decided to disc up a spot for a garden with two spots kind of next to each other. One right there, one right there. More garden than we'll need, I'm sure. I'm planting a lot of corn and see what else we can get down. Some beans, all kinds of stuff. I worked a little bit earlier today. Got her all packed up today. Put the tractor back in the tractor getting place. I'm fixing to head to the house. We're out here again today. This is a day or two later, a few days later. I don't remember when the last day it was to come out here. But anyways, came out this morning. I already got the tractor and I ran the disc through the spots that I disced up the other day one time, and as you can see right here, we're starting to plant some stuff. So let me show you what I got going on. So those are collards. So I don't have a way to direct seed, which those I got starts anyways, so I've just been putting those in by hand. That's what I've got down so far, so it's not a ton, but I'm fixing to show you guys some seed that I got. Hopefully we'll get using some of this area that I tilled up. I may have tilled up too much, but rather have too much than not enough, I guess. So over here in this bag we got, those are Blue Lake bush beans, so green beans. These are lima beans. And then this right here, I think that's corn. He didn't mark it, he just put G90. But I believe that's the corn. It's like a hybrid corn. And then again, Blue Lake bush beans. Brandy likes green beans, so I figured I'd plant plenty of that. And then we got some more lima beans. Man, the corn was crazy. So to give you an idea, for this right here, I think it was a pound of corn. It was $30. For a pound of limas, it's like $6. And green beans, $6. So I don't know if there was an issue with corn this year if there's a shortage, but I can tell you corn was, just the seed was really, really, really high, in my opinion. Now, I haven't bought corn in several years, so I don't know. But I think what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna go ahead and start dropping some corn. The guy at the store, he told me to take a pipe. So I've got this, like a little 1/2-inch pipe to save you back, because I told him I didn't have a way to actually put the seed in the ground. He actually told me to take a cup and put a cup on top of the pipe, which I don't have a cup currently. I just grabbed a pipe because I thought at last minute, but I'll pop the seed down in there and it'll drop in the hole, hopefully, and then we'll go back through and we'll cover it up and we'll see how it does. But I'm gonna plant the corn. I'm gonna start it in a square. I'm gonna plant it. Let me back up. So I'm gonna plant it on this end of the garden, and I'm gonna work my way that way. That way we can get good pollination, because if the corn with tassels form off the edge of the corn, if you don't get good wind pollination, or however you get the pollen from one to the other, usually the wind, then you won't have corn kernels. So anyways, that's what I'm doing today. So I'm out here again today, still working on the garden. I didn't get any video the other day. I brought my kids out here the other day and we did some planting. You can see where we walked through and made some of these rows right here. All that right there pretty much is corn, and it's planted to about, well, you can see the end of the row where we were walking. So I've got that planted. I've got these collards that I bought as starts, which is not a ton of them, but I've got those guys planted. So pretty much just the collards and corn right now. But my kids, I don't know if I can see where let me go down here and see if I can show you guys. They wanted watermelon, so we bought some watermelon seed. And they put some watermelon stuff in the ground over here. I just gave them the whole section of the garden. I told my wife, I said, just let them plant whatever they want to plant, however they want to plant it. Let them have fun. I didn't get any video, but I think Brandy took some pictures, so I'll probably put the pictures in the video that you guys are watching now. So right there, I can tell that Mosey dug a nice little ditch. This is where the kids were planting their stuff the other day. I can see their feet prints, but obviously nothing has popped up yet. There's, in this section of the garden, let me back up so I can get it on camera. In this section of the garden back here, that's gonna be watermelons. I don't know how many they planted, but they had a bunch of watermelon seed, and so I guess whatever Mosey didn't dig up, that's where the watermelon's gonna be popping up. But today we are going to plant some peas and beans, and I've got some crookneck squash, so I'll figure it out. The corn is in this section of the garden right here, just for reference. So I may have tilled up too much, but better have too much tilled up than not enough. Today I got some helpers. Y'all want to be YouTube famous?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, these are not my kids. Technically, these two guys are my brother-in-laws, my wife's youngest brothers. So you guys ready to plant something today?
Yes.
All right, peas and beans. Y'all like peas and beans?
Yes.
Crookneck squash?
Mm-hmm.
All that stuff. All right, those guys are out there finishing up the last line of beans, and I'm gonna come in behind them. I don't know if you can see that on camera, but cover these beans up, coming behind them. So we already planted, we did a row here and a row here of green beans, and then a row here and a row here of lima beans. I'm not gonna plant the entire garden just yet. We're gonna do a succession planting, so like in a week to 2 weeks, we'll come out here and we'll plant some more. That way everything doesn't come ripe at the same time, so we won't have to pick the whole garden all at the same time. As you you guys can tell, I've been having to come out here and do this in shifts. So we're almost done doing that right there for today. And what I'm fixing to do is go on the other side of the property. There's a spot the other day that I dished up on the front side of the property. So I've got some sunflower seeds, and we're gonna go broadcast those sunflower seeds on the other side of the ditch over there. So I'll try to get a little bit of video of that. Nothing major, but this video is pretty much so we can see what we planted and what it looks like before, and maybe in a couple weeks things start popping up, I'll be able to get another video and we can see some progress. We've made a few passes. We started down there and we've seeded all that. We've seeded it to here. So pretty much what we're doing is we're walking, and Eli wanted to do this one. Are you sure it's not too much seed? All right, keep it moving, keep it moving. All right, walk fast. He wanted to do it, so we're gonna let him do it. They've been walking with me the whole time though, so I give them a shot. So we're not gonna be able to seed the whole property. I got 2 bags of 40-pound black oil sunflower seeds, and so we're not gonna be able to do the whole property with it by any means, because we're already down 1 bag, and this is the beginning of our other bag. Hold on, you're walking, not throwing anything out. All right, swap with me. Good try. We probably should have put less seed in it to let you do it. But anyway, we've been walking back. I think you shrank this up a little bit here. There we go. All right, so we've been walking back and forth. This is what we've been doing. They said, the store said, as long as the seed touches the ground, so the soil, that you'll have some sunflower. So whatever the birds don't come and take away, and there's a lot. Get a picture of the ground while you're walking there, Eli. There's a lot on the ground that is soil. So just about everywhere I'm throwing these seeds, most of them are hitting soil. So it should have a pretty decent germination rate with the seeds. The only thing I didn't do was get a high enough seed. So that's okay. We'll see how this works out. The whole idea behind doing the sunflower seeds, one thing, girls will like them, my wife will like them, my daughters will love them. They start coming up, they'll get a kick out of it. Second thing, we're going to mow the sunflower seed plants down summertime, and that's going to give us a little bit more organic matter to go into the soil. Because this property has been row cropped. They planted corn, and then they would come back and they would plant soybeans the following year, and they would just rotate between corn and soybeans. So what happens when you do that, you take a lot of minerals out of the ground. And so before we turn this into pasture next year, or actually at the end of the summer or fall, we want to put something back in the soil before we start trying to plant our grass. At least that's the idea. Alright, so let's just turn around and go the other way. Walk down here. We're going to walk back to the truck. Alright guys, this is Ethan's turn. Ethan is taking a turn. I call him Ethan because when he was a young guy, they came and they was staying at our house, and he jumped up in the shower and busted out his 2 front teeth. So I pick on him a little bit, Ethan, but he's a hard worker. So he's wanting to try to see if he can spread some seed. Eli wasn't too successful. It's just a big bag, that's all it is. I think it's just too much. Big bag, little bag. Well, there went a lot of seed. All right. Now we want to walk towards the middle of the house. See the middle of the house? Because last time we walked to the edge of the house. So you're gonna walk towards the middle of the house. One thing that I've noticed, even when you're on a tractor, it's really hard to keep a straight line when you're doing anything. So if you kind of look ahead and pick a point in the horizon, that'll help. You know, it'll help you, give you something that you're working towards. So I don't know how people keep the road straight. I know a lot of the newer equipment is AI stuff, and the computer basically drives the tractors and stuff like that, which, you know, if you got $100,000 to go spend on a new John Deere with all that stuff in it, then go right ahead. But that ain't my testimony. Not right now. So we're doing it the old school way, but there ain't nothing wrong with the old school way. The old school way worked for years. All right, Ethan, let me take over, buddy. All right, so the bag's a little lighter now. We've made a couple runs. Let's see if I can get this thing filled up.
We're doing it halfway, so yeah.
All right, hold the thing open for him. There you go.
Hey, why hold it? You won't hold the thing open. I beat you with it.
Hold the bag. Let him hold the big bag. There you go. All right, round two. Might be better off over your head, buddy. There you go. All right, here it is, round two. We got half a bag. Eli's chunking it out. Okay, we want to walk towards the back end of the house now. We just walked towards the middle of it, right? So that's a pretty good bit of land. When you're driving by it on the road, it doesn't look like maybe so much. But it's essentially from there to that ditch. The side that we're on is about 600 feet. So if you're looking at a square acre, I think an acre is, it's not exact, but it's like 210, 209 feet, point something, whatever it is. So basically, this tract is 3 acres wide, more give or take about 20, 30 feet. And then so we're walking down this way about 600 feet and then turn around and walking back the other way. But it's from that corner back there is roughly 4 acres. Now it's not a square tract, but it's close enough to give you an idea. So this whole side right here, let me see, I'll start you at the road. So this whole side, starting at the road, going back to that corner, just talking about the tillable land, and then starting at that ditch that starts right there and then comes up on the other side of my truck. Sorry, my hand keeps making the camera blur. And then it ends up here. So that's about 12 acres of tillable land. Now on the other side, behind the pack house, you got about 4 acres, and then probably roughly an acre that the pack house and the barns and stuff are sitting on. So I'd say about 5 acres over there that are cleared altogether. 4 of them, which are what I would call farmable. And then we got the wooded area. There's I think 20, man, I don't even know, like 24 plus acres back there of just woods and swamp. Are you hung up, bud? We're gonna have sunflowers like randomly popping up. I think our things are gonna go like this. And we're gonna have like a big spot or patch of sunflowers, and then we'll have like a few and have like a big spot and patch. Some of those are gonna be his. Honestly, some of them will probably be mine. Just being truthful and transparent. Hilo, you want to be a farmer? So he didn't quite make it all the way there. We got about, I would say, 3/4 of the way there before we ran out. Oh. Man, I'll tell you what. These things right here, I hate them. I hate them. Anyways, we got about 3/4 of the way. So we're wasting a trip walking back. But that's okay, because they're having fun. They like doing this stuff. So I don't mind giving them a shot. It's the only way you're going to learn, right? It's getting hotter up here. It's been cool in the mornings, which is nice. I would say lower 60s, upper 50s maybe. And then by the time you hit the hot part of the day, it's been like mid 80s to upper 80s. So we're in that hot part of the day right now. So, but the wind's blowing, so it's nice. I know when I lived back in Florida, I was out in this stuff all the time, but living up here in North Carolina, it spoils you a little bit, the cooler weather. So, but getting out here and doing some stuff, is good for you, you know. Round 2, put it on 5. There's an adjustment on here. Wash your hands so I can show these guys. So the farther back this way you go, the more seed it lets through. 6 is a little too much, it kind of just dumps it. 5 works pretty good, except when we start off. See how we're dumping all this. Okay, just dumping it. You gotta keep it moving. Alright. Well, we got seed on the ground. It might look a little crazy, but it's alright. We're not row cropping this stuff. Say this with me. Are y'all ready?
Yeah.
Say mycorrhizal fungi.
Mycorrhizal fungi.
Mycorrhizal fungi.
Mycorrhizal fungi.
Yeah, Rapunzel. Let down your hair. No. Yeah, mycorrhizal fungi. So in my, and I don't know a whole lot, so in my research of doing, figuring out what we're gonna plant before we actually put the grass seed down here, one of the things they said that we needed to do was to build biomass, which I missed my window with planting some of the seeds. It's kind of late. It's getting warm, hot already. So I wasn't able to plant some of the stuff that I wanted to plant. But one of the things about the sunflowers that's really good is they're supposed to be really good for helping the mycorrhizal fungi in your soil. So if you want a good crop, or in this case, we want a good pasture, then you want to be, I've heard guys say this, you want to be a soil farmer, right? So if we can take care of everything in the soil, then our crops would be better. So we are throwing the sunflower seeds out, not just for the wife, not just because they're pretty or whatever. We're actually throwing them out so they'll actually enhance the mycorrhizal fungi in the soil. And the idea is that when we cut those down and get ready for our grass seed, then and plant our pasture, then we will have a good start, hopefully, for the grass to grow in. So that's pretty much it, guys. We're on our last bag, and Ethan is running it out as we speak, walking in behind him, talking to you guys, making this video. So we're going to go to National Day of Prayer tonight. We got a prayer service tonight at the church. So wherever you're at, hope you guys are doing the same, and y'all have a good one. Is there anything you want to say before I shut this thing off?
Bye.
Bye. That's good.
Bye.
That's good. Bye. That's great. I like it. Y'all have a good one. Be blessed.